Welcome to the Dawg and Gus show, now on Feel It Radio.
What's up, Doug?
Gus, not a lot. You?
Oh, just living the dream.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're in our lovely studio here at Ernst and Volker.
It's the wrong name, but that's okay. You were pretty close.
I was close enough.
Yeah, we'll take it. We've got it. We're pretty diverse. We got a few different places we can do podcasts, bud.
Yeah, man.
I enjoy this room. I think it's nice. It's different than your apartment.
Yeah, it's a little cleaner.
Slightly.
You were going to say that, weren't you?
No,
you bastard.
No. Just it's your space. You don't need to have me come and do a whole podcast there.
I don't need to impress anybody.
No, just yourself.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about today?
We're going to talk about longevity versus long in the tooth.
I like the name.
And what do I mean by that?
I think I know what you mean.
Yeah, but bands that maybe should have given up a while ago that are still touring and still out there.
Yeah.
With their cash cows, as it were.
Yeah, and I can think of a couple myself right now.
Yeah, and it's going to be, this is just us. It's not, like we have
we'll be quoting from a list.
Yeah, we have a list from Rolling Stone magazine.
Who we like to mess with.
Yeah, because their lists are just off the charts. Anyway, so, I mean, depending on who you like and who you don't like, this list may upset you, or you may go, yeah, you know what, I agree with that. Anyway. So
I know. Well, I do agree with some of it. I mean,
so do I.
You know,
I really do.
I
really do.
I think we should start with the Rolling Stone list just to get it out of the way, and then we can kind of go on another list that we have.
Yep.
And then maybe just go a little bit off on that.
Yeah, we can talk about that for sure.
Because there's bands that I actually like on the lists, but
well, I mean that's going to happen, right?
But you're right. But the fact is at some point, you got to retire.
Yeah.
And especially if you have members that died. Like, think of Led Zeppelin, right? Like, Led Zeppelin had the best grouping, I think, like one of the best groups of all time, because they had, the best drummer, and they had one of the best lead guys, one of the best guitarists, and I think John Paul Jones was one of the best bassists and
absolutely.
keyboarder.
Yep.
And he produced. But once John Bonham died, that was it. They did the O2, but they used John Bonham's son.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's it, right? Like you can't. There's magic in the band.
Well, and it's like, especially when he was like the heart of the band, right? So how do you go on with that, right?
Exactly.
So agreed. Like if somebody in the band dies, especially somebody like the drummer, it's it's a little more. Do we go on? Should we go on?
Yeah, and then greed comes in, right? Like money. Everybody's well, you should go on tour. Look at Motley Crue. I mean, God, they're not on the list, but come on, enough. You fucking suck. It's over.
Yeah, and it's a lifestyle too, right? Like they get used to a certain style, and they just
they want to get out of the house, maybe.
Yeah, well, that's quite possible.
Yeah.
So here we have the Rolling Stones top 10 bands that should just stop.
Yeah, I totally agree with number 10.
Number 10.
Yeah, Limp Bizkit.
Yeah,
like go away.
Yeah,
Fred Durst is like a douche, right? So like it's like they have actually, when they put out the first two albums, obviously, I think Nookie was one of their big songs.
Yeah.
And, their guitarist is really good.
Westmoreland?
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
And, I think he left the band. And once that happened, you have like, just a regular band.
Yep.
Although you have the name, of course, but without the key ingredient.
It's just like we said about the drummers, right?
Yeah.
You take one of those key ingredients out, and it's just not the same recipe.
Yeah, guitarist. Like I find like a guitarist can make a rock band,
of his stature too. Right?
Yeah, So I don't disagree with that. I think Limp Bizkit can go away for sure.
Number 9, The Who.
Oh yeah, go away.
That's one of the long in the tooth ones for sure.
I think so. I think so too. Yeah, it's interesting. I do like some of the Who music, of course. Bubba O'Reilly comes to mind, and I don't know. I just think that you like you said, long in the tooth. Plus Pete Townsend just gets he's like, he was angry to the beginning, and now he's just an old angry man.
Yeah, and him and Daltrey don't really get along. So why are you still doing this?
Yeah, money.
You know what I mean? Money. And Keith Moon's not there anymore, so it's like
exactly. Like,
and Whistle's not there anymore. So why are you still around?
Money.
Yeah.
Money.
Money.
Yeah, that's the way to go. They're touring this year, actually, number 8. They're out.
Are they
going,
really?
Yeah, they're going out. They're doing a North American tour. They sell out. I mean, they're still a big band. So Coldplay.
I will not go see them.
No, I've seen them. Yeah. I actually, funny enough, when I worked at the Chateau Laurier here in Ottawa as a server at Wilfred's, they were playing in Ottawa. I was going to see them, and who was the God, his name's escaping me right now, but he was with the Verve. Do you remember the lead singer? Anyways, it'll come to me. But I served him also, and the three members, not Chris Martin of Coldplay.
Okay, so the others.
Yeah, so because Chris Martin wouldn't come down, of course. But the other three guys were really nice. They were nice guys, and they basically, they're polite. And I said, "Oh, I'm going to the show tonight." They said, "Oh, have a great time. Enjoy yourself." Da 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 da. And then the other guy, God, I can't believe it. I can't remember. It's going to come to me on mid show here, but. He was the nicest guy. He was there with his partner and his son, and I was really kind to the kid. I always this is kind of the way I always serve people, is if they had kids, I always made their experience amazing, and he shouted me out, so he can keep touring. But Coldplay, so go away.
The Verve can keep touring, but Coldplay, go away.
Yeah. Remember, and the Verve didn't make any money on their big song. Do you remember?
Bittersweet Symphony.
Yeah, because of the Rolling Stones. It does sound a lot like a Rolling Stone song, but
that's too bad.
Yeah.
Number 7. This is going to cause a little bit of
not for me.
U2.
I don't like U2.
Well, they've been around a long time, and a lot of fans that stuck with them through the early days with like War and Pride and I think the 80s stuff. Are not so much fans now. Like they pulled that stunt with Apple Music, giving everybody an album that nobody wanted.
That was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, and a lot of, I think Bono is just turning off a lot of people.
Bono
is turning off a lot of people these days, and unfortunately that kind of resonates back into the group. And actually they have a new album coming out.
Edge is an amazing guitarist.
Not going to say he wasn't for sure.
No, I will certainly give them credit there. Bono with the political stuff and like he invested early in Facebook, made $1 billion. Talks about doing your part and stuff, and doesn't do it. Like he does some donationing, but they honestly he's one of those elitists that I just sort of figure. Okay, enough. I respect the fact that they've stayed together as a band, 4 people that have started the band in the 80s and have continued on. However, they're long in the tooth, man.
Yeah, that's the longevity versus
Richard Ashcroft was the guy that I was trying to get.
There you go.
Yeah,
so
okay, so there, I knew it would come to me.
Yeah.
He was amazing. The nicest guy you'll ever meet. I knew who he was. Not a lot of people knew at the Shadow Laurie. Of course, they're having brunch there, and I'm like a server that's probably because I used to work at a bar called Pier 21. It's not there anymore, but it was right on Parent Street, and and anybody that was around in the early 2000s probably saw me there. But anyways, I worked there till 4 or 5 in the morning, and I'd walk to Chateau Laurier and I'd start at 6 o'clock, right? Like I'd have a quick breakfast at Zach's or something, and then I'd be.
I used to work at Zach's.
Yeah, you probably made my food, man. Just so you know, this was before Dawg and I were really close until 2005-ish.
Yeah, I wasn't there then. I was gone by then.
No, but this was before then.
Yeah,
and so you wouldn't have known me. But I would have walked in my Pier 21 outfit, go to Chateau Laurier, have a shower, change into my uniform there, and keep going.
Wow, look at you.
Well, I was 22 years old.
Craziness.
I had momentum.
Yeah, you did.
So number 6. Another one that'll piss people off is Bon Jovi.
But again, have they put anything out new lately? Have they done anything?
No. No. Bon Jovi made its own wine. John Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
Why do they call it Bon Jovi just after him? I don't understand.
I don't get it either.
Because there's so many talented guys in the band.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know.
And again, the infighting between him and Richie Zambora, and it's just like, okay, guys. I mean, I understand touring and being in the same place with people for so long. But again, it's long in the tooth, right? People are just tired.
Yeah, yeah. You kind of get over the, I don't know, that infighting and the complaints that they have.
Yeah,
you're complaining about what exactly? Again, money is, they're a big band, so they made money, and good for them.
Yep.
They earned being famous and putting out pretty good albums in the 80s and stuff, and some of their stuff I like. I liked Bon Jovi's solo stuff, actually. I have a friend from back in the day, Mark McConnell. I don't know where he is now. We moved on, but he loved them, and he sang their songs perfectly in cue, and he knew everything, every small detail. But that's like a band, like any band. Like if I know, every April Wine song that you listen to, all the little kind of sounds, right? Mm-hmm. and I'm probably the same with the hip and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
well,
So
that's the thing. It's the stuff you focus on, right? So
yeah,
so the Bon Jovi fans will be upset with that, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not upset or unupset about it.
no, I don't either. I don't think it's a big deal. Yeah, and who's number 5?
Fall Out Boy.
Yeah, weird because they're not a big band, man. But they are. You know why they're? I think you know why they're on this list is I think that the reason being is they actually put out one album that did well.
Yep.
And they haven't put out much since.
Well, they have, but it hasn't been anything close.
No,
to the
but
first.
they're still riding on that, right?
Yeah, I mean them and Panic at the Disco. They both came out around the same time, the same kind of style, right? So it's kind of like.
And I prefer Panic at the Disco.
Yeah, one of those two bands is broken up. I think it's Fall Out Boy. I think they've broken up.
Have they? Okay,
Yep,
well,
I
maybe.
think I was reading something about them.
Well, why are they? We gotta.
Well, this is an
update
old
it.
list too. Sorry, this is not a current 2023 list.
No, this is it's not that old.
No.
We'll just keep it.
Yeah.
Keep it going here.
Yeah.
You can do 4 because I'll do 4.
Do it.
Because you could do 3 because that's although I love them anyway. But Rolling Stones, number 4. Rolling Stones. Listen, I love Rolling Stones. You love the Rolling Stones. There's songs that I absolutely adore, especially from the late 70s and the 80s, and like they're just phenomenal band. Okay, Charlie Watts is gone.
Mm-hmm.
He was he was the rhythm. He was the back. He
Yep.
was like incredibly. Obviously, Keith Richards is talented and makes a great frontman, but it's they're fucking 80 years old, man. Like at some point you got to say, okay, thank you for the millions and millions and millions of dollars. Yeah. But like long in the tooth, many, once you lose your key, like obviously they lost their bassist,
Bill Wyman.
Yeah. Who died like early on. No, Bill Wyman died, but who died? Who drowned themselves in a pool?
Brian Jones.
Brian Jones. Okay, so that was in the 70s.
Yep.
Okay, so that was you can replace that guy. They brought in Mick.
Ron Wood.
Ronnie Wood. Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, Mick Fleetwood. I was like,
oh boy,
I'm losing my mind, bro. But then then you can continue on. Like, don't get me wrong. They put some of the rest of the music was after he died, and then. But at this point, like, what do you have to prove anymore? It's you're, I have a friend, Sean Jensen, who's friends with Trevor Alguire actually, and he's following them around. Like he goes to like Italy and watches them, and like he's a big fan, and I get it. I wish I could have seen them. I haven't seen them. I think
neither.
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
Nope.
But yeah, I just think they're long in the tooth, man.
I think it's gotten to the point now where it's just. You can say you've seen them. It's not so much about the show.
That's right.
It's about, I saw the Rolling Stones. Well, great. I think it's a little different to see them in 1977 than to see them in 2023.
Exactly.
It's
like
huge
live
difference.
at the El Macambo.
Yes, sir.
Right?
That was a great show, apparently. I wish I'd been there.
I listened to the album's amazing.
Yeah.
So like listen, they're the pinnacle. They're top. They're in the of all time bands. They're in that top 10, whether you like them or not.
Yeah.
And like that's to me a phenomenal. I don't know, just a great band. But at some point, shut her down.
Well, and especially if you're not putting out any new stuff. And they've put out. I think I read they've put out 2 new albums in the last 20 years.
Yeah. Well, Mick's still knocking up women. So.
It's a side job.
I think he just had another kid.
Yeah.
He's like 80 years old. He just fired another one out.
Good for you, man.
Well, I get you. Listen, have kids if you have money and the women still want to have kids with you, then so be it.
Yep. Again, is that because I slept with Mick, Mick,
oh, for
Mick
sure.
Jagger,
for sure. And if you read, actually, Keith Richards' book is unbelievable.
I have it.
I have it. It's so good. But he kind of makes fun of Mick a little bit. Because he said, like, sort of says he has a small penis.
Oh, no.
He doesn't say it as far as words, but he's got petite penis syndrome.
Oh, okay. Well, we're just going to make sure that doesn't go viral.
Well, we can do whatever you want.
Yeah, we can. Number 3.
You got 3, yeah.
Yeah, Leonard Skinner.
Oh, I love them so much, but most of them are dead. So at some point...
They almost all died in a plane crash, so...
That's what I mean. Like, you just start a different band. But it's hard because you may need the money. So you have to continue using that name.
Because he did do Van Zandt. Ronnie Van Zant did a group called Van Zant. It was just Van Zant. But everybody wanted Skinner. And it's like, so they're living on the laurels of the 70s. They're not like, haven't put anything new out in the last 30 years.
No.
And a lot of these bands on this
50
list,
years almost.
a lot of these bands, a few of these bands on this list are the same, where they just tour on what you want to hear.
That's right.
So, that smell and, that other song.
Would you say Foreigners like that?
Foreigners on the other list.
Okay, well, we'll get to them. But
Yeah.
we saw them. I loved it. But yeah.
They're another band that we'll talk about for sure. But Skynyrd, it's like there's their top 3 songs, right? And then, it's just...
Well, they have, like, I love Skynyrd, a lot of their songs from when they were all alive, and they produced a couple great albums, like, Give Me Back My Bullets, and, like, obviously That Smell, and, like, many
that one song of theirs.
Sweet Home Alabama. But that song I don't even really like anymore because I just heard it so much.
That's the problem with some of it too, right? It's
Yeah.
just like it's so overplayed when they have so much other stuff that's just as good.
That's right. Yeah, and they always put the Confederate flag in the background. So
Yeah, so it's a little controversial
to say the least. But
in certain places.
yeah, what and isn't Sweet Home Alabama like a rebuttal to Neil Young's song?
Yep.
Okay.
Southern Man.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but that's their biggest song
Yeah.
by far. I mean,
Yeah.
by far. Number 2 is the Beach Boys.
I don't disagree. I love the Beach Boys, but they haven't done anything original in 50 years.
I know.
And the infighting.
Well, Kokomo.
Well, that was it, though. But come on. But the infighting.
Lago Montego, baby, why don't we go?
Oh boy,
See, I got you singing. Great.
yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Like the infighting between Mike Love and Brian Wilson.
Yeah.
Like bringing in people like not touring with Al Jardine, not sure. It's just like, just give it up.
Yeah.
But it's just if there's a call for it, people are going to go see it.
That's right.
I'd love to see them
Mm-hmm.
because they're going to play everything that I want to hear. And I'm not going to have to suffer through it. So we wrote this new stuff we'd like to try. They don't do that.
Yeah, there's something to be said about that. I would love to see, if we ever get the chance, we're going to see the Beach Boys.
I mean,
we're seeing the Sheepdogs this weekend.
We are.
Saturday.
That'll
Not
be
that that's has anything to do with
they
anything.
can stick around for a long, long time. They're talented boys.
Yeah, but they did break up and they got back together.
Yeah, they sure
But
did.
if the Beach Boys do come, we'll see them. However, number 1 on this list, we're never seeing.
No, haters gonna hate.
I
man.
hate them. I don't really like them.
my
at all.
God.
Nickelback.
Yeah.
It's funny how they get on these negative lists so quickly. Like they're the first one on, like they're the number 1 on almost every list of negative stuff.
And they just put out a new album.
And you know what? You sent me that first song that they sent out
San
as a
Quentin?
single, and it's good.
Yeah.
It is good.
And you hate them for it
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's like,
No, I don't hate them actually that much, but I don't really. They're not my speed. I like Photograph. That was a good
you know
song.
what? And I'm just going to say it on air. I'd go see them.
If I got free tickets, then I'd go.
Sure. Yeah. But I mean, like
Not
that song,
paying.
San Quentin's okay. It's
interesting.
It's interesting. I just don't like the way he says San Quentin.
Yeah.
Go to San Quentin. I just hate that. And he's not Johnny Cash, so you can't sing about San Quentin. You're not allowed.
Or Metallica did a video at San Quentin, right?
Yeah.
I think King Nothing was.
But Metallica's also a mention, an honorable mention as well.
Yeah, at some point, right?
Yep.
They're. I looked at tickets; they're so expensive.
It's crazy. Like the Eagles too. We could talk about them as well. Like there's no Glenn Fry.
Yeah,
It's like, is that still? Well, because the Eagles have changed so many members. There was Don Felder. There was this guy, and and they've changed it up a bit. Vince Gill is now touring with them, who's an amazing artist on his own.
you love Vince Gill.
I love Vince Gill, and he's a very talented man. But he's not Glenn Fry.
No, and that's the thing. He's talented in his own right.
Yep.
And you can't replace someone who was that influential on that band because he was a founding member.
Yeah.
He was it was him and Don Henley, and then everybody else came after that.
Yeah. And it's
I don't know how they met. There's a cool their documentary is really
Kenny
cool.
Rogers had something to do with them coming together.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because I think back when he was with the First Edition, which was his band,
Henley was his drummer.
Yeah, I think he heard or knew of them, and like, you guys got to do something. You got to.
Henley's voice is unreal.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like he's still around, so that's but he had personal success, solo career success.
His stuff in the 80s.
And
was
so did
quite
Glenn
good.
Fry.
And Glenn Fry, the All Nighter and stuff like that. Yeah.
You belong to the city.
Yeah, there was in one of my favorite movies, The Warriors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it plays in that
Come
movie.
out and play.
Warriors. Yeah, so this other list we'll talk about in a minute.
Hey, Doug, want some hot sauce for your tacos?
You brought your own hot sauce?
Damn right. Have you tried Gringo's Sizzling Nirvana? It'll change your life.
Nice. Are there other types of sauces?
Absolutely. There's different hot sauces for different palates, incredible barbecue sauces, red pepper jam, and salsa. All of them use fresh ingredients, and it can be delivered to your door.
Hey, how do we get some?
Go to www.gringosblazingsauces.com and order some.
Gringos Blazing Sauces.
Bring the fire to your food.
So we're working on a second list here, and there's going to be some doubling up. I wrote some down. I actually added some that weren't on the list.
Oh, I like that. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna freestyle it.
You do it. So I'm going to go to one that we haven't talked about yet. The other list, Queen, after Freddie Mercury passed away.
Yeah, enough. You can't replace that guy.
Adam Lambert's doing a solid job, but it's not.
Doesn't
Freddie
matter.
Mercury.
Exactly. You're right. Sure, he's doing an okay job.
I said solid.
Solid is better than okay.
It's better than not bad.
But
But anyway, it depends on who you talk to. I mean, again, you're seeing Queen, but you're not seeing Queen.
Yeah.
You're seeing the three members that have survived and one dude that wasn't even alive when they first started.
Like, are we being negative? Is that
no? I don't think we are.
Because I don't want to see Queen without. Like, I would never go see them. I'd never go see them.
I don't think that's negative.
I didn't have an opportunity to see Freddie Mercury because he died when I was 11. So it was like,
and I've never seen them either.
Yeah.
And that's a sad.
And I respect them.
Yep.
And I love their music.
Yep. Their music's awesome.
And Freddie's one of the, to me, top 3 all-time frontmen ever.
Yep.
I think in our frontmen, I think we had him at like number 2.
I think 2 or 1. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm right up there.
Maybe 1 actually. Yeah. But what I mean is like, yeah, like how do you continue on without the key member? Even though, May is an amazing guitarist and they have great chemistry as a band.
Yeah.
And Adam Lambert is talented.
He's
but
very
he
talented.
is not
He's not
Freddie Mercury.
No. Sorry. Not sorry.
I'm not sorry either.
Okay, we touched on it a little bit earlier. Sorry about that delay. I thought Gus was going to say something.
Oh, no, I didn't have any.
Foreigner.
Yeah.
So they've been around since the early 70s. Mick Jones.
Well, we saw them. Who was there that was still in like the band?
Mick Jones.
That's it, right?
That's it, yeah.
And that guy Tony was awesome. That was like he
Well,
would keep smiling at everybody.
Yeah, but they have a really tight musicianship. Like they've got guys from other bands who've played in some big bands as well.
Oh, yeah. No, they put on a great show.
They put on an amazing show, but the only original member of the band left is, what's his name? I just lost it. Mick Jones.
Yeah, Mick Jones. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't know where you were going with that.
Yeah. So are you seeing Foreigner?
Are you okay? You lost it there?
Yeah, I had a stroke. I'm good. Without shoveling snow, it hurt me. Oh. And like he's an original member, founding member of the band, right? So in essence, you are seeing the essence of Foreigner.
Yep.
Should they stop? I would say no because I love them. I'd love to see them again, just to hear all those songs live. But I mean, they haven't put out anything new in a while.
Okay, so going back, I mean, so we have been shitting on a couple bands. However, it is nice to go see a band that's tight, and you'd see a cover band if they were covering something. So having a professional band that is doing Foreigner songs that we enjoy, there's something to be said about that as well.
Yep.
But at some point, when you're a band that is doing stadium tours and stuff like that, we saw them in TD Place. It was like a small venue, right? It was nice. It was really good. And, like you I get you gotta, you money, right? But what about posterity? What about like having some self-awareness? Why not moving on? Like, why not write your memoirs and shut it down? Like, go chill out in the English garden back, in fucking London.
It's the lifestyle too, though. I think
big time. Like, I mean, how is Mick gonna keep impregnating women if he doesn't?
No, it's Mick Jagger, not Mick Jones. Anyway,
Jagger, not Jones.
Yeah,
Mick. Is it Mickey? Is it short for Mickey?
No, I don't think.
I think so.
I don't. Mickey Jagger, Mickey Jones.
Yeah.
No, Davy Jones from the Monkees. Anyway,
are the Monkees still around?
No.
Oh, there you go. See,
well, the Monkees weren't. They were kind of like the Menudo.
Hey! No,
they were like they were like Menudo. Like they were one of the very first boy bands. The Monkees, a band that was actually put together.
What a great segue! Because number 1 on this list that I have is the Backstreet Boys.
Really, they should never tour again.
Yeah, number 10 on the list, but
nice.
But yeah, no, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC.
98 Degrees.
Just go away.
Yeah, all those guys.
Just go to sleep. Go to sleep. What about Aerosmith?
Yes. I believe that they've run their course, and I think that they should be done.
I think so. In the 90s, like those 2 albums that they put out.
Well, it says I have it on my list. It says after the album Pump. Remember that movie?
Yeah.
After that album, they should just shut it down.
Pump was unbelievable.
But their 70s stuff was great.
Oh, yeah.
Like Toys in the Attic.
80s, too.
All that stuff between 70s and the 90s was great stuff.
Well, the one, like, Pump was, like, a big album.
It was huge.
Yeah, like
huge.
Had Angel on it.
Love in an Elevator, I think, was on that as well.
Great video. Oh, my God. It's so good.
But it's just, like, again, it's like...
But they were, like, in their 40s then.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and then at some point, you're kind of like, that's great. Like, you're crushing it at 40s. And then Steven Tyler obviously got onto not The Voice, but America's Got Talent.
I think so.
Or is it The Voice? I don't know.
Wasn't The Voice.
No. America's Next Top. I don't know.
Anyway.
New American Idol.
American Idol.
That's it. He was on that with Simon Cowell and stuff.
Okay.
I think he took Simon Cowell's position while Simon Cowell still produced this. Anyways, my mom watches all that stuff, and I never watched it.
There you go.
So Aerosmith, there was a good one. That's not on the list, but it's sort of a mention.
It's on my list.
Like, you think of the Beatles, like the Beatles wouldn't be touring if, like, when they broke up, right? Like, I don't think they'd come back if John was alive.
And George.
And George, of course, sorry.
I don't know. And what would happen if they did? Thing is, going through these lists, some honorable mentions come up, and Paul McCartney's name comes up because apparently, from what I read, his shows are horrible.
Really?
I read a couple different reviews of his solo stuff, and they say he's terrible.
Might be the sort of what you were touching on before was like it's to say that you went and saw Paul McCartney.
I guess, but apparently it's these guys, whoever these people were not big fans of it. They just said he wasn't very good.
Really, eh?
So at that point, I guess he should just shut it down.
Fucking right.
So,
but so we'll go on to this thing with the Backstreet Boys as well. Sort of, we're a little bit all over the joint, but the way it mentions it is a bit creepy that these guys are still out shaking and dancing for a bunch of young girls.
Yeah, but those young girls have also grown up too, right?
Yeah, but some of them are young still.
Yeah.
Like there's like a new generation that likes their music, but
the daughters of the moms who used to go watch them.
Exactly, weird. It's really weird, man. Because when they go out and they do like I saw friends of mine that loved them when we were younger. Of course, that's understandable. Like they were teenagers and they love Backstreet Boys, and that's normal. And you say, oh, let's go see the Backstreet Boys because they're playing, and we're all in our 40s now, which is fine. But that means like Kevin's like the oldest guy is like 50, and he's out there doing these stupid.
Things when he was 20.
Well, yeah, which is fine. That's like you're young and you're doing your thing, making some money. It's great, but you have to think, okay, we're gonna go out as the Backstreet Boys for real because we're gonna go on tour with like NSYNC and New Kids on the Block, and it's like this is really weird because all these women and if they have kids and they're like shaking, like doing these, choreographed dances at that age, like forget about it. It's so weird.
Yeah.
I think it's just weird. And they were formed in like 1993. So realistically, the boys, they were all in their late teens and early 20s walking down the halls of middle school. You would see girls' folders featuring the band. Yeah. Like they were huge. They were a huge band. But anyways, it's just creepy. 130 million albums sold worldwide.
Oh yeah. That's impressive.
It is, but great. Shut it down. Don't go out on tour as a boy band at 50 years old.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm done.
Enough said about that.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, you're good?
Yeah, I was good when you first mentioned them.
Who you got?
It hurts to say this, but I wrote Styx down on my list.
Sure.
I love Styx. I've always loved Styx, but again, hockey Styx, lacrosse Styx, and the group Styx. Funny man. But again, it's, Dennis DeYoung leaves the band. They replace him with Lawrence Gowan, which is a great replacement.
Absolutely.
Gowan's amazing.
Well, you saw him recently.
I did, and he was awesome.
Yeah.
But Tommy Shaw's still there. J.Y. Young, J.Y. still there. The Panzio brothers, one of them passed away, so they got the one. But so it's like almost a full band. But again, they did put something out new a couple of years ago, but again, it's not like
good.
The Grand Illusion. It's not Pieces of Eight. It's not Equinox. It's not these great albums that they put out back in the 70s and 80s. So would I go see them again? Of course I would. I'm a fan. But should they keep touring? Huh?
They could stop and it would be okay.
Yep, I don't think anybody would notice.
No. Well, but not. And again, like you said, we're seeing it both angles, right? If, like for me, I would never go see the Tragically Hip now. Because
without Gord Downey, it's not.
It's not going to happen. I don't care. Like you could say, oh, the Hip are touring. Doesn't matter.
The Hip are not touring.
I'll go see the Strippers, which is like one of the band members' band, which is amazing. Not just go see Strippers, go see the Strippers, which is a band, and they're amazing. But it's different. It's not the Hip. The Hip are done.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like you got to think of it now. Like if you're a fan of that band and the lead singer and basically the heart and soul of the band is gone, it's over.
Yeah,
it's over.
Sadly, it is.
Yeah, and it's okay because it stays in time and that's it.
Yeah,
you don't need to do it again. Like unless you're just greedy and you can't think you can make your own or don't have the confidence to go out on your own.
I don't think any of the band members lack that. I think
that
they're very
super
professional.
Confident. Yeah, and that was their best friend. That's the thing too.
If I were in a band and say that you and I were in a band with 3 other guys and you passed away, I'd be like, no, I'm not going out on tour because Gus isn't in the band anymore. This is not the same band. I'm not going to do this.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of people feel that way, but it's the fans. They want to see
the podcast going.
You're replaceable.
Dawg and whoever.
And whoever I picked that day.
Dawg and Bus.
Random guy off the street.
Yeah. Oh, you got off a bus. We'll call you Bus. Dawg and Bus.
There we go. Yeah. Done.
Nice, bro.
Yeah.
Evil bastard. No, but you're right. You're right. It's. I think there's also ethics in that. There's the fact that you built something together and it went big and you guys had a great time doing it. And it comes to everything. All good things come to an end.
Everything. Yeah. And it's sad for us fans, especially
course,
you're a huge fan. I'm a fan. I'm not as huge a fan as you, and it's sad. It was sad the day he passed away, and it's like Buddy Holly said, it's the day the music died, right? For that band.
Yeah. Was that what was Buddy Holly was they talking about? Elvis?
He was talking about music in general. I don't think he was talking about Elvis because Buddy Holly died before Elvis.
That's true. Yeah, in the plane crash.
Yeah,
that was a big one too. Big Bopper, Richie Valens.
Yeah, there's some huge stars.
Yeah. Oh, is Stephen Van Zandt related to the Van Zandt from Leonard Skinner?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have one on my list here.
Sure, go ahead.
Green Day.
Yes, it's at the bottom of my list.
Okay.
Which doesn't mean that anything is just at the bottom of my list.
Oh, yeah, but Green Day's got to go.
Yeah. They just...
Unfortunately, the lead singer, Billy Joe, can't stay sober.
Yeah.
He keeps going back on tour and then, of course, relapsing and then, all of a sudden he's drunk on stage again. Yeah. So at some point, you need to take care of your own self.
And an angry guy too.
He is, yeah. I've seen them. I was never a big Green Day fan. I liked a couple of their a couple of their songs.
Me too.
But life on the road is tough.
Yeah.
And when you're an alcoholic or you're an addict or whatever, I can attest to this. It's very challenging to be around. It's not a challenge if you're around it for short term, but it's a real challenge if you're kind of always around it long term.
Yeah.
There's always temptation, and it's like 50-fold for these guys that are on tour, right? Like everything is like, what do you want? What do you need? What do you have?
Exactly. It's like it's not like you could just say no, I'm good, but it's there within seconds if you want it. And I couldn't even imagine being able to say no, I'm good, when you've got 75 people handing you stuff that just appears out of nowhere. Like you don't even have to do anything. You don't have to get up off the couch after the show.
Go play and then come back and
somebody hands you this.
Here's a drink and here's here's some weed. Here's some cocaine. Here's whatever. Yeah. It's a very challenging. Like even I think remember when not that Amanda has any trouble with this, but when she was talking about touring, it's like you got to kind of get used. You got to turn down some things, right? Like you have a drink here and there, but like. You're not going to go out every night. You got to relax. It's hard to do a live show. Yeah. So, to do it and then do it with, being hungover or something, you're just basically fixing the next thing, right?
Yeah. And it's just, I read about them too, is that people frequently, they're getting worse and worse. So, you know what? Go out on a high and just stop.
Literally.
Yeah. Or, do some more solo stuff like the Norah Jones album. That was great.
Yeah.
Go do some of that. Like do something else outside of Green Day and maybe get your...
Go to paint or go like write some poetry or
do something.
You get your artistic fix elsewhere, right?
Yeah.
It's too bad because like, but that's the thing. Like, it's everything. We're gonna do this podcast till we're dead, but that's a different thing.
Yeah, because the people want it. They just want us dead.
We keep getting messages, and faces, go vote for us already. Like.
Yeah, because it wouldn't stoke our egos if we won an award at all.
just one, just one guy.
Just one guy. And his name is Gus.
Yeah, he's ego.
Yeah. So now I'm going to probably upset Johnny from Evil Creek when I say this, but there's one band I wish and I hope never gets back together. Oasis.
Oh.
I said it, Johnny. It's on my list. I'm sorry.
I agree. And the good thing is they never will.
Yeah.
Because they hate each other so much. But I agree.
Yeah.
It's so toxic. And Noel's putting out, he just put out another album. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's putting out great stuff. And even Liam is putting out good stuff.
There you go.
So they're doing better things separately than they are together. Because it was super toxic. But they're also doing they had $1,000 a day cocaine habit. So it was like they were not only does that fuel a bit of a fire if you have any angst against the other guy, then that's what happens.
Yep.
And then it comes through in the music. I mean, the music doesn't sound good. It doesn't feel good. There's, it feels when you're immersed in creating an album, and we've only know this because of who we've interviewed, you get immersed in it and you really it's such an experience and it's such a bonding that, if you had any turmoil between two people that are affecting the actual music, it's going to suck.
Yep.
Right. And I think that's another reason to just shut it down.
Yeah.
And I don't think Oasis will. I think they have broken up, and I don't think they're getting back together.
Perfect. Sorry, Johnny.
Well, I do like Oasis. Supersonic is an amazing album, and gets you going.
I'm not a huge fan. So
no, that's fine.
It's not
but that's again that album has been made and sold and done, and it's amazing. Leave it back there.
Yeah.
Blink 182.
Oh, I can't agree more. Oh my God. I'm sorry.
I never liked them, so it's easy for me to say this one. The reason being, and there's huge Blink 182 fans. Don't get me wrong. I have friends that love Blink 182. I'm just not a guy that likes them. And at some point, and they're touring again now. I like Travis Barker. I think he's a phenomenal producer. I think that he does a lot of great things. I don't like him on the Kardashians, but whatever. Only because I don't like the show, but they're they have Blink they broke up and then reunited in 2009, and then they changed their sound completely, but the lyrics have turned very dark and they're mostly centered on death now, which is really weird.
Because they were so upbeat and funny and just kind of off the cuff.
Do you remember their videos? It was like they were running naked through a city and
or in their underwear and whatever. Yeah. Just having a laugh in life, right?
They just make me sick. That's that band. And I listen. I respect that they're a good artist, but for me, I hated that guy's voice.
Yeah, I'm gonna stir the pot again.
Nice,
because
do it.
It's what we do. Yeah. AC/DC.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, it's on my list.
So I could see it. I saw them a few times.
I've never seen them live.
They're amazing live.
I know. And again, are they getting to the point now where it's okay, enough's enough?
Yes, I think so. Hard to say because they have. You listen, Back in Highway to Hell is one of the highest selling albums of all time.
Back in Black.
Yeah,
another great
album. I think
album.
Back in Black is.
Yeah, right? 1980 after they lost
Bon.
Yeah, Bon Scott, and then what's his name came in. Sorry to come off the top of my head, but. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. So
Tommy something?
No. But anyway, I think a lot of the thing about them is that it all kind of sounds the same. And again,
Brian Johnson.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Bob Ross from Winter. I apologize for dissing, but he loves AC/DC.
Yeah, but I love them too. But at some point, they got to shut that down.
Yeah. Right. Winter can take their place.
Exactly. That'd be sick, man.
Yeah. Winter.
Winter, you guys could do a sick stadium show. You guys would be great.
Yeah,
stadium.
they'd be awesome.
So would Sunday Riot Club too.
But
that's what they kind of. Yeah, that'd be sick. Hey, you know what? We're gonna organize a concert.
Stadium Rock.
Yeah, which I kind of always talked about.
Yeah, you have, and we will see.
What do we call it? Dawg and Gus Palooza.
Yeah, there we go. What do you got next?
Black Sabbath.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ozzy needs to stop.
That's what I mean, man. Black Sabbath, Paranoid album. Greatest album I've ever, one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
And so many, so diverse, really rockin' tunes. And then there's that really trippy song. God, I can't think of it, but it's something bus or something. Anyway, that doesn't
Magic
matter.
Bus. Oh, wrong group. Sorry.
Magic Bus. That's the Who too. So goodbye. So it's basically with Ozzy being Ozzy now with his mental status,
stability,
and drummer Bill Ward is not he's not in the band anymore. I guess they had a contract dispute. And again with the politics of Moroccan roll and the fact that they were Ozzy left in late 70s, and then it was a huge star again in the 80s.
Yeah.
And then the show was huge in the 90s, and that's fine. You're done. And I don't want to hear that guy talk on a mic anymore.
It's hard to understand.
Sharon, and then
I got a couple I'm going to throw in together that were on the list. This is not my choosing; it was just on the list. The Offspring, and Smashing Pumpkins, because they just came out. He's come back with some new stuff.
Well, Billy Corgan is the only one I think he's the only one.
I think he's trying to entice the bass player to come back.
She died.
Did she? Then I guess that's not happening.
She was in Hole as well. She was
she really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'd have to look that up, but I think she did die.
Okay.
But anyways, I know what you mean. I think the guitarist is the guy that there's like big drug problems in that band too, right? So like the guitarist he's Asian American, but he's like awesome, and then their drummer was really like a bad drug addict. Like he'd wouldn't show up for shows and stuff.
Very nice.
I have Metallica here. We already kind of touched on that one.
Metallica.
Enough already. And then Queen is here again, like you already said.
Yep. I have another one.
Go.
Yes.
After
Chris Squire passed away.
Yeah.
It's the whole, should you keep touring when you're missing like a huge component of the band?
No.
I agree. Like we could even talk about all these bands that are out there touring right now, like 70s and 80s bands, that there's all that's left is the name.
Yeah.
There's no original members.
I know, that's the thing.
And it's like, why would you go see that band when it's the cousin's best friend's Gardner is now the lead singer of this band.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's not the band anymore.
No, it doesn't make sense.
No.
It does. I guess it makes money in cents, right? Dollars and cents.
I mean, there's that.
But that's a whole thing. That's not there's no other reason. They're not, maybe we're passionate about the music. It's like, no, I don't think so.
Then make new music.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Jefferson Starship.
Or Starship, yeah. Jefferson Airplane to Jefferson Starship to Starship.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't disagree with
that.
Like,
why are they because they've been 3 different band names and still singing the same songs.
Yeah, well, I mean, We Built This City was their biggest song in the 80s, and that's on a list of one of the not so good songs ever.
Well, the early Starship was incredible.
White Rabbit.
They had Cantner and then Grace
Slick
and David Crosby. And
the band was phenomenal.
He just died, eh? David
yes,
Crosby?
He did.
Yeah. Graham Nash, Jerry Garcia, and Mickey Hart.
That's a huge talent pool right there.
Exactly. But they've had 37 different band members. At some point, you go, okay, change the name, start a new band.
Yeah, the Grace Slick Incorporated.
What are we going to be in now? We'll be Jefferson Airplane, and now we're Starship Airplane, and then we're Jefferson Starship, and then we're Starship, and then we're, what I mean?
And then we're gone.
It is at some point, but yeah, no, I love White Rabbit. That's a great song.
They had some really good stuff.
I used to get nice and baked and listen to that.
No way.
Oh yeah.
How about
Call Angus? That's what I used to say. You know the part in the song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Call Angus.
What about the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Go away. I'm done with them.
Go away.
Hate them.
Yeah. The more I would love to see them once.
I think Anthony Kiedis is a dick.
He's more than a dick.
So,
he's a very disturbed individual.
Well,
from what I'm hearing.
if you watch the Woodstock 99, right? Like the one where they basically beat the shit out of a city and all the people got screwed that were in the, not screwed in a good way. They got there was no water. The bathrooms were never done. It was really a mix up. There's a great documentary about it. I almost went. I have a t-shirt from it. But the Red Hot Chili Peppers went on stage after they asked them to calm down, and because there was a fire being burnt, and then they played "Fire" by Jimi Hendrix. They covered it, and then they fucked off. Right? To me, Anthony Kiedis and Flea's naked on the stage, and most people that would do that, you'd be put in prison.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong. I think Flea is probably a decent guy. Like, I think that, and, I don't think that I think John Frusciante is one of the most talented artists going. He's such a great guitarist. He's such a good artist. But he also left for a reason. It was heroin, of course, and I respect the fact that they got clean and all that, but you don't need to, like, the best part of being clean and sober is the fact that your gratitude goes through the roof.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen to Anthony Kiedis.
Yeah, it's even with my little list here, it even says that when John left the band is when they should have stopped.
Exactly.
And again, it's another key component of the band leaving and them still going on, moving forward because of whatever.
Money.
All right.
Ego.
Yeah, I got one for you. Bob Dylan.
Okay. Would you go see him?
I would.
So would I.
Just, again, to say I saw Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
But, I mean, is his voice great? Nope.
Never was.
Is he a great guitar player? Not really.
Great songwriter.
But he's an amazing songwriter and storyteller from the ages. And it's, you know what I mean?
His son's a better singer than him.
Jacob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wallflowers.
Yeah. But to see him, yes, I would definitely, if I had that chance, I would see Bob Dylan for sure.
Me too. Yeah, but also we're open minded. I'm down to see what almost any band really.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's definitely, sometimes Bob Dylan's been around for 60 years.
It's a long time.
It is, and it's like you're 80 years old, probably 80ish,
Very close. Yeah,
and. Not to say that like my mom's 81, so like it's not. Yeah, it's not like. Don't go outside and you're that's it. Be a recluse and that's it. No, go find something else to do.
Yeah,
you have this beautiful catalog of music. Why are you? And again, maybe do some small shows. Like go do some small venues that do a cheap ticket. Like it's a $6 ticket. Like what do you need $150 ticket to go see him at a stadium? That
would be for that you would have to just be him. You know what I mean? No production, no this, no that. Because, all the people you have to pay.
Which is fine.
If he's up for it, right?
Cool?
It would be very cool.
That's his roots, man.
I'd like to see him in a small venue. Would just be like the bomb.
You don't need any more money.
I'm going to throw one more at you just because we went to see these guys about 4 years ago. GNR.
I know. I had that next.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, I think so. They were amazing when we saw them. But Slash is Slash. Like that's one of the best guitarists ever, and you have to see him once just to see what he can do when he's doing it. He did an 11-minute Godfather solo. Yep. It was the greatest solo ever. I was sitting right next to you, and James was with us, and it's like and such a great atmosphere because you're outside. Yep. It was summertime. Yep. It was the music was good.
Yep.
But Axl,
he rocked that.
He was pretty good. I mean, considering everybody talked about how bad his voice was a couple of years prior.
He sounded pretty good to me.
But at some point, come on.
Yeah. The only down part of that whole concert was those posers wearing those tattoo sleeves that pissed me off.
Yeah, you hated that.
Oh, I didn't like that at all.
Well, it's because you're tatted up.
Yeah, yes, sir.
And I want the next one, okay?
It's all yours?
Yeah, and you can keep going, but I got the next one.
I'm going to keep going.
I'm going to go off. And just going back to GNR just real quickly, Guns N' Roses were inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I think that is the key part of every band. Once you make the Hall of Fame,
quit.
It's over. You should be over. Like any athlete, anybody that's in any Hall of Fame, other than golf, if you're in Tiger just went in the Hall of Fame, he's still playing, sort of. But once you're like, okay, Appetite for Destruction came out in 1987?
Thereabouts, yeah.
Yeah. Amazing, fucking unbelievable album.
Yeah.
Like maybe my favorite album not my favorite, but in my top 10.
Yeah.
Get me going. I want to go to the gym. I want to do, I just want to yell in the car or something. That's the album. But, once you make the Hall of Fame, that's it.
And so Dawg and Gus have suggested any bands out there, when they make the Hall of Fame, you're done. Shut her down.
What do you think?
I think, sure. It's been 25 plus years, right? They have to wait.
20.
Is it 20 for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Because Eminem's in, right? It was 20 years. But Eminem's never going to stop either, so you can't really, I want more Eminem stuff because everything he puts out's amazing.
See, there you go.
So
there are...
there's exceptions.
There's exceptions to the rule, yeah. Always is.
All right, here it is. Ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Kiss.
Yes, please.
Fuck off.
Enough.
I'm
Enough
so done with Kiss. Like him and his big being the best bassist of all time. Like,
Please.
you know, like, come on.
Gene Simmons, you're an amazing marketer and businessman.
Oh yeah, and Paul Stanley's got a great voice.
Yep.
When he did Phantom of the Opera, and
Yep.
he's, you know, but at some point, man, fuck off.
You guys, you know what? You're not as good as you think you are.
They stole their act from Alice Cooper.
Yeah. He should keep going, though, Alice. He should be another accepted rule. He should just keep going until he dies on
Well,
stage.
he just plays golf, and then he does like five shows a year.
There you go.
But they replaced Peter Criss and Ace Frehley, right? Like, and Ace Frehley to me was a very big part of that band.
He was.
You know,
He was very much so.
New York Groove is a great song that
Yeah.
he did on his own, but back in the New York Groove. They were inducted in the Hall of Fame. They were formed in 1973, but they've been, you know, obviously they're going to make the Hall of Fame.
They will.
Big. I've seen them. Really great show, like fun, but you know, again, you're in your 70s.
Yeah.
Like, shut it down, Gene.
But as
Like, I do, and it sounds like the rest of them. I don't hate the rest. I just hate Gene.
yeah. So now is that your basis for them to wanting them to shut them down because you just don't like Gene Simmons?
No, I think the basis is that what are we listening to anymore? Like, are they putting out new albums? No. Are they putting out? Are they just coming and singing Detroit Rock City and I Was Made for Loving You, Baby, and which I do love that song.
Great songs.
But then, you know, and I don't listen. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy some of their music.
Yep.
However, you know, having an ego and saying you're the greatest band of all time, great, but. You wanted the best. You got the best. You know, that's it. That's how they open every show.
Yeah.
Okay. At some point, you're not the best anymore.
No offense to Doug Dancy, but you were never the best.
No.
Sorry, there's bands
Dougie,
that...
it might be. Listen, we're ruffling feathers here.
Sure we are. But
that's this is our show, our opinion. You don't have to
well,
like it.
You can also DM us and tell us you're pissed. And we'll
that's why
take it
we
into
waited
advisement.
till the 50-minute mark to do it.
Nice. Yes, sir.
So Kiss to me, I think, is one. It's like, you know, if you look at people look at Nirvana. Okay,
Yep.
Kurt Cobain dies.
Yes.
Dave Grohl goes and starts his own band separately. Right.
Yep.
They're okay. Foo Fighters have done okay over the years. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, start something new.
Yep.
And then get into, you know, some different types of music and try different genres.
Sure.
And, you know, like, or play the same stuff, but just go different, like, in
Dave
some
Grohl,
way.
you know, just pull up, you know, what's his name there and do a little 80s groove because he's in the audience. Just pull him up on stage.
That's right. Yeah. So cool. He's the coolest.
But I'm going to digress. Oh, I'm not going to digress. I'm going to go. Recently, my favorite band, April Wine, Miles Goodwin has retired. He's the original member. He's the only original member of the band. So now they're touring with another gentleman. I don't know his name, but he's a very good singer. But to me, no Miles Goodwin, no Jerry Mercer. To me, that's not April Wine. So will I go see them in live? I will not. And that's my favorite band of all time, and I will not go see them again.
Exactly right. Like, so if the hip put somebody in the front, I'm not going to see them.
Exactly.
I'm just not.
So I wish Miles the best of luck. He's still doing some solo stuff. He has some really good blues stuff that he's done. But I will not go see April Wine anymore because to me, it's not the band anymore. Like, I went to see them a couple times without Jerry Mercer, and the drummer's amazing, but it's not Jerry Mercer. So to me, that band that I grew up listening to in the 70s is no longer
relevant.
that band. Band.
Yeah, exactly. What about Van Halen?
Van Halen,
you can't.
You don't have Eddie. That's the main component of that
They
band.
want to.
I mean, even his son, Wolfgang, I mean, that's not the same. It's the same as...
He's not a guitarist.
I know, but it's the same thing as bringing in Jason Bonham and going out as Led Zeppelin. No, it's not. It doesn't work.
Exactly. It doesn't. You can still... like. It's nice to see that Wolfgang played bass with them, but they're not. That's not Mark Anthony.
No,
you know, like that's like to me it was like fuck. I get the lead singer thing is different, right? Like that's different because David Lee Roth left to do his own thing, so they wanted to continue making music as Van Halen, so they brought in Sammy Hagar, and arguably better than David Lee Roth as a singer.
Who you talk to, right? There's
Van Hagar and there's Van Halen, but to me, if Eddie's dead, he's in the Hall of Fame as one of the top 5 guitarists of all time. Could be in the top 3, depending on who you ask. He's pretty sick. And then band name is Van Halen.
Yeah.
Enough. You can't go on tour. I mean, I get your brother's the the drummer. That's fine. Your son is in the band. That's fine also. But
No.
without Mark Anthony
And without
without David Lee Roth or like whoever they decide, it doesn't matter who the lead singer. It doesn't matter if it's no Eddie Van Halen. There's no more Van Halen.
There's no Van Halen without Eddie.
No,
Agreed.
He's just the backbone. He was the smiling guy in the videos. He had those wildly brain melting riffs. Like,
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
And kudos to I'm going to forget his name. Oh my God, Led Zeppelin.
Jimmy Page?
No, the other one.
Robert Plant?
Robert Plant.
Yeah.
Kudos to him for saying, no, I want to go off and do more stuff. I want to do something other than singing these songs over and over and over and over again.
Exactly, and that's what I think we're getting at is that's it. You're an artist. You're artistically you did it. You did that.
Yep.
It's over. Move on.
Take a page from Gary Newman, who would not ever go back and do Cars again. It was an amazing song in the 80s, but he's like, I've done it. It's over. It's gone. I'm moving on.
Yeah.
Take a page.
Yeah.
Jimmy
Page.
Ooh.
Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Okay, until next time.
Have a great week.